Lynn, you brought Hamilton to Puerto Rico. I was one of the ones fortunate enough to see it. What did that mean to you, bringing your show there?
Well, it's interesting. It was always sort of part of the plan. Like the second we got a good review in the New York Times, I knew we'd be lucky enough to tour, and if we did play Hamilton in Puerto Rico, I'd want to play Hamilton there. And then after Hurricane Maria, the plan changed. The plan changed from how can we play Puerto Rico to how much good can we do for Puerto Rico in our brief time there. And so we raised $15 million for artists and arts organizations on the island while we were there. So it was really one of the most exhilarating experiences of my creative life.
So the effects continue to be felt from the show there.
Yeah, and it's been wonderful to sort of see the bounce in tourism as a result, and Jimmy Fallon coming down. So it was, I'm really proud of it.
And you ended up getting somebody like Oprah to donate $2 million off of that. That must really resonate for you.
Yeah, it's that's the hope is you do something good and others will follow, and there was so much generosity from people on the part of everyday Americans everywhere in regards to Puerto Rico.
And there's been the back and forth between the mayor of San Juan and the president. What do you make of all of this?
I think these are huge questions, and this is I think it's important to keep Puerto Rico in the national conversation. I think it's important constantly to remind everyday Americans that Puerto Rico is a part of the United States. But its status is very tricky, and as a result, it's a big challenge.
Yeah, and as 2020 approaches, can people learn from what happened here with Hamilton and our founding fathers with what's going on today?
Yeah, I think one of the biggest things I learned in writing the show was the fights that were happening and the conversations that were happening at the founding of our country are the conversations and fights we are still having. We're in the room of the election of 1800. This is every bit as dirty and mudslinging as the election of 2016. And the conversations, and it's important to keep having those conversations.
And thank you so much.
Thanks.
Appreciate it.
Hey, NBC News viewers, thanks for checking out our YouTube channel. Subscribe by clicking on that button down here and click on any of the videos over here to watch the latest interviews, show highlights, and digital exclusives. Thanks for watching.